Welcome to the Dante unboxing. I have it right here. This is the Dante demo box. I am super pumped to show you what is in store for just this demo box. Obviously, prototype and all that, but seriously, really, really cool. And not only that, but you can actually play this at Essen Spiel. So if you're going to Spiel, then this is definitely something I think you want to check out. They do have a booth there, Creative Game Studio does, and they're the ones that made this. I will actually be there as well, so you can come meet me and, of course, check out the demo of this. I think you're going to be in for a treat. But you're going to see my first actual interaction with this. So it's like before I've read anything, all that, it is blind going in there, seeing exactly what they have in store for us. Okay, so I think, I don't even think I need to take that off. Well, maybe I do. And let's see. So there's an opening right here. So we'll cut through that gently, and that should allow me to mostly just lift it up like so, maybe. There we go, lots of tape. That's the idea here. Lots of tape, my goodness. These little corner things. Keep the box kind of nice, especially because these prototype boxes, which is what this is, of course, isn't always as sturdy. Now, verbal disclaimer here, of course. I am working with Creative Game Studios. I'm actually helping out with Hell. So as I comment on it, know that technically I'm working with them, but the way I'm working with them is they want me to be critical of all their stuff, actually see all their stuff early, be able to comment on it, all that, hopefully improve the thing. So literally my job is to be critical. So you shouldn't have to worry too much there. I think they know me pretty well when it comes to that. I hear a lot of, do you hear that? I don't want to keep doing that. I'm going to lift it up. There's like a lot of moving parts in there. I probably just broke like most of the things in there. And of course, I've already kind of mentioned this, but it is a prototype, right? So, it's going to move again. Oh, there we go. Okay. But we are through. Okay. Whew. So I'll start right here at the back of the box before I flip it back over. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Very cool. So 3D elements, they're very big on that, right? Where's my pokey stick? Okay, so we got the board here, which actually doesn't, this looks pretty minimal. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to review this, obviously, and let you know kind of ahead of time what my thoughts are on this, but it doesn't look like it takes up too much table space, which is cool. This art here is looking awesome. I can't wait to see that more. Looks like some stand-in art there, perhaps, a little bit. We got like columns, we got like a 3D chair thing. Also, I think this is a standee version, but there will be miniatures as well. All right, it says it'll take about 90 minutes, 1 to 4 players, ages 16 plus. I mean, you're diving into hell after all. And then a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm not going to mention everything. What I will say is there are furniture models, and that's kind of a big deal here, is being able to like throw furniture at people or be thrown into furniture. I'm hoping I didn't break anything moving all that. Okay, so there it is. This is, I believe, the newer symbol that they have. They've updated this. They might not keep the Invasion of Hell. I don't even know kind of where they stand on that. Either way, pretty cool. Oh, opens really nice for a demo box. Ooh, look, it's all black inside. Very nice. Okay. Well, that's premium. I like that. Very cool. Okay. All right. So hopefully this kept everything mostly in place here. You can see 3D printed trays and everything like that. So this is the Book of Chronicles. Again, prototype. In fact, it looks like it's probably already maybe been used, which is totally fine, of course. Let's see. Greetings, dear reviewer. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, I'll read that in a little bit. That's awesome. Cool of them to do. And then they have, looks like some regions, confrontations, quick combat. This is their campaign book. I've read a slight amount of this. So you see this art kind of throughout, and I really like it. It's a very nice style. It's modern in how it's drawn, but the style with the lines kind of like this, very reminiscent of like much older style art that I think fits pretty good. I'm going to zoom in on this just so you can really kind of appreciate that a little bit. We got the room. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better for you. Like how clean this is. Again, nothing here is final. However, this should show kind of how far it is. My understanding is they've been working on this for several years now. Just kind of behind the scenes, they obviously don't want to like, start, talking about another game without delivering, their first and stuff like that. So, now that they're working on that, they're able to kind of start showing this off. So we already got like numbers, stuff like this. I mean, this is already with the kind of call out boxes and stuff like this, better than some of the final versions of stuff I see. So that's awesome. I think what all of this work in progress stuff, I think, is just continually being, you know, fine tuned and all that. So anyway, there's a lot here. I'm not gonna like show all of it right now. You can see that this is some much cleaner art here compared to some other stuff. This is awesome. I dig that. So there's a lot of this. Then we have a quick combat where you can just kind of go quickly through and fight Minos kind of right off the bat. I believe that's a mode that they'll just kind of have. And then we have some memories. And that's it for this Book of Chronicles. Kind of a campaign book, more or less. All right, so coming back to here, we're going to zoom out a little bit again. So you can see the whole thing, see where they're at with the prototype. Again, I fully support this kind of 3D printing stuff. It works out really well. It's easy to do, and it helps kind of keep things organized. You know, a 3D printer that can print this costs like maybe $120 nowadays, maybe even cheaper. Literally, not even joking. So you can do pretty well for yourself as a game designer these days. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Looks like we got some kind of probably miniatures in there, I believe, right in here. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Get rid of some of the 3D printed stuff here. And it looks like we got a board. Let's go ahead and expand it. Okay, hopefully you guys can get far enough away. I'm going to try and zoom out a lot for you guys so you guys can see the full thing of this. It looks like this is a map. It looks like there is a front and back, so we'll take a look at both. You zoom out. There you guys go. Okay, so here is kind of the whole thing here. Sorry, my head's going to be in the way a little bit here as I look through this. This already folds flatter than some of the maps I've done. That's actually not too bad at all. So we have little A through C, 1 through 6. That's kind of it looks like a map you're kind of moving about, perhaps, because I see there's a map pile here. There's also a wound pile, a path pile, discoveries pile, artifacts pile, and findings pile. Then we have a caravan board as you're guessing, like going through your little like journey through hell, right? Your invasion of it. So you have an offerended arcana. Wounds as well, probably separate than this. Paths, discoveries, and finding artifacts. There are discoveries here and here, and artifacts here and here, and paths here and here. So interesting that there's a little bit of a difference there. Then we have this attributes thing, determination, aggressiveness, willpower, and prowess. We have a providence and diligence down here, and an arcana deck down here. Now, if you want all of this explained, I will be doing a details video for you guys after I fully go through the rule book. I haven't finished that yet. And on top of that, obviously, I will be doing a review and stuff like that. So you guys can learn everything there is to know about this. Going into the campaign, I'm going to try to be really detailed, have a lot of content for you guys so that you guys can make an informed decision on if Dante is a good choice for you. Here, I believe this is the map section here is what you would use here, the kind of these bigger squares here. Then you have findings and discard, wound and sin. Then you have a discard A, B, and C. And then you have this little area here for something, maybe a card here or there, and maybe some minis here. We'll see. Obviously, as you can see, there's a progression of something going on here. So we'll take a look at all of that as well. I'm excited to kind of share more as we get closer. They're still working on exactly when, but it's good to kind of see this early on. Look at the art here. That's awesome. I dig that. That's like all around. Super cool. Super cool. A little bit of glue coming off there. Go figure. Oh, look at that. They even sleeved it for me. Sweet. I dig it. Hey, I'll take the sleeves if nothing else. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. What else we got? We got this big old thing. Let's look at this first. We'll look at these maybe after. I want to make sure I'm kind of organized here. We're going to zoom in a little bit now that we don't have to be so far out. Okay, so here we have gear. 3 different gears, and then it looks like some kind of tracker there. This is 1 per person. And then we have on the back weapon, miscellaneous findings, 2 of those. And then we have a maneuver deck here and a discard pile. So that's going to be some kind of combat stuff there. Again, we'll talk through all that. Okay, we got a whole bunch of cards here that kind of moved around everywhere. But I believe I now have all of the big cards here. So let's take a look at this. So we'll start here. Okay, yep, this is fine. Okay, so we have a Chronicle Phase overview. This is a little helper card, and a Chronicle Phase summary. A transition phase, preparing the champions, and transitioning game style for the transition phase. I've talked a little bit about several of these, the Chronicle and Confrontation specifically. This is the turn summary, the Caravan turn and Malefactor's turn, and then a Confrontation phase overview. Then we also have a game terms clarification, like fiercest champion, what does that mean? When we talk about range, what does that mean? And then we have just more of that here, like what is approaching versus a straight line and stuff like that. We have a little King Minos card here. Well, it's not little, it's actually kind of large. And on the back here we have the Limbo Throne, the Pasiphae, Minos, Heavyweight, Power of Kings, some of his information there. Then you have your characters here, at least the ones you start out with. We have the Devotee, a Pious Maiden. So you can see the art there. Super cool art. Love that art. Martyrdom and Altruism. And then they have Martyrdom, Inspiring Psalm, and Punish the Wicked. You have the Outlaw with his Power Shot, Stealth, and Long Shot. And then he is the Rebel Leader, so he knows Guerrilla Tactics and Slide. You have the Artist, which is kind of an interesting one to be here, I feel. But you get a lot of, it's kind of like a rogue thing, right? You get Backstab, Stagehand, and Twin Strike. And then she is the Pariah Wanderer. Backstab and Improvise is her big thing here. Then you have the Mercenary Sellsword, the Battle Breath, and Sparring reaction. He can do Provoke, Precise Strike, and Fit of Rage. Kind of a tank style right here, right? So these are your starting characters here. And again, I love the art. Looks awesome. Really, really cool art. Can't get enough of that. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got some dice. Let's look at some dice. Some dice and some standees. All right. Love this dice. So we already have some custom dice here, which is cool to see, with like a little symbol like that. And then we got 2, 1, 1, 1. So just 1, 2 there. And then 2 of these, probably a bad symbol there. Nice and clear red and white. It looks awesome. Like that just looks great in my opinion. I love the stark white as well. And then 2 big old standees. Again, this is all prototypes, so who knows what everything's going to kind of end up being. You get quite a few dice, at least here in the prototype. That's not too bad. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 dice is what you're getting here. All right, let's look at some smaller cards. See what's going on here. Again, there's a whole bunch. Got all sorts of jostled around. In the future, if you don't want that to happen, rubber bands are your friends. But it's cool that this came all sleeved. That's actually quite nice. So, yeah, very cool. Okay, so this is going to be a mess here, okay? So just as an FYI, I have no idea kind of the order of everything here. So we're just going to kind of look at what we got. I'll organize it later. Don't worry about that. For now, you can see exactly how I got it. So you have a little 5 here. Very, very nice looking. I love the dark red kind of look that's going on here with a little bit of gold. And then notice this is silver instead of gold. It's kind of interesting. Extract Passphase's Confession. So this is like some kind of like defeat King Minos. This is like maybe some objectives. Heavy Crossbow Findings. As a free action, discard this card and make a ranged attack by rolling a 9 dice attack roll. This attack can't be empowered. And it does have a little code down there to kind of tell you where everything is coming from. So you have the Lantern of the Drowned. Again, we'll get some art. Retractable Shield. An Oboli. Cry of the Indolent. And Bottled Courage. Oh, I need some of that. That sounds good. There's a 4 there. Let's see, it looks like it's mostly this way. A Burning Tear. Hate when that happens. What does that do? As a free action, discard this card to assume the position of the fiercest player. For each position your marker has raised, you and another champion up to 2 areas away gain Inspired. So a little bit of a buff there. And it looks like it can change who's getting targeted. Hydraulic Hook. Essence of Yore. Armor Reinforcements. Here's some art. Very nice. Here's a greatsword, so you can kind of see what they're going for here. You know what? I'll zoom in a little bit instead of holding it up here. There you go. We'll get it a little bit closer for you guys. So we have this like drop shadow thing again. This is a glow thing that a lot of people are doing nowadays. This is to really separate and pop the art. This darker one might be my preference. I just showed their standee with white for their Chronicles of Dunagar Apocalypse. And in that one, they have a white, but then they have really skinny swords, and so the white glow almost makes it look kind of like a lightsaber. So that kind of helps, not show it like that. So you can see here, at least, for the starting gear, this is starting gear here, they have different actual stuff here. They have weapon here. That's probably a little dark. That's kind of dark on dark, maybe changing the font. See how that looks great there, but it's a little bit darker here. You almost need to flip it to white, I almost think. You may take 1 damage to re-roll up to 1 die of your attack roll after the roll. So you're going to start out a little bit, being able to do some kind of mitigation, which is kind of nice. You have the longbow here. You have the Holy Sacrament. As a free action, you may discard Faith 2 to make a ranged attack with +3 dice bonus. A dagger. Now this is miscellaneous gear here. Devotee or Artist, so only 2 classes can have this. Caduceus of Asphelius. I'm sure I'm saying that completely wrong. Charon's Rags. Clockwork Wings. Again, a little dark there, so we'll have to kind of figure out how to lighten that up a little bit. Angelic Sword, very nice. The Angelic Sword, is that the same art? Looks very close. How different is that art? I guess it's pretty different. It's very different. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have some different path stuff. Investigate, camp, go to the gates. Limbo map, bloodstained letter, imposter exposed, pledge of redemption, right? You got a whole bunch of stuff here. You got a lot of these almost kind of like poker cards. If you want to play poker, you could totally do that now. And that's it for the small cards, at least the ones I saw. So let's now dive into some of these bigger cards. And then maybe the map tiles. That sounds kind of nice. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So this is kind of the meat and potatoes, really. As you can see right now, they're just symbols. I don't know if they're going to stay that way or not. So we got some confrontation stuff, some abilities. We'll kind of take a look at some just more symbols here. Then we have Arcana here, and that's what we're going to start with. So let's go to take a look at the Arcana stuff. We're going to split this a little in half here. Wheel of Fortune, the Hanged Man, the World, the Magician, the Chariot, the Star, Justice, the High Priestess, Strength, the Tower, the Emperor. It doesn't look like there's any repeats here at all. So that's all unique stuff there. Then we have these ability cards here. Let me go ahead and separate those. That's these dark backs here. Next, you receive Vigor 3 and raise your Fierceness to an amount equal to the level you are on. If you're level 1, for example, you receive Vigor 3 and raise your Fierceness by 1. Hunt, Power Shot, Clear Shot, Long Shot, multiple shots. That's what he has. She has Consecrated Ground, Command, Inspiring Psalm, Punish the Wicked, Join the Fray, and Word of Salvation. You are another champion up to 2 areas away. Get inspired. This one has some special wording here. Look, there's a symbol and it's in red. Cut Purse, Mocking Strike, Stagehand, Performance, Juggler, Twin Strikes. Then you have Ruthless Assault, Transversal Swing, Push Forward, Overwhelm, and Provoke. All right, so here are actions and counterattacks, it looks like, on the back here. So all sorts of stuff here. You got like Thunderbolt, a lot of Thunderbolts. It looks like the back is Appeal, Reprisal, and Piercing Scream. Remove the Scum is another one. And that one can lead to Reprisal, Piercing Scream, or Appeal. Here's some Minos ones, so like head-to-head. There's another head-to-head. Another head-to-head. I think that's... Oh, here's another head-to-head. Okay, so here's his head-to-head ones. Again, it looks like this is all the same on the front. By the looks of it, it looks like that's all the same. Then on the back, it looks like he can do a tackle, a tumble, an arcing spin, and an overwhelm. Now, I don't know which one this is art is supposed to go to. Obviously, work in progress. I will say that again, I love this art. It looks violent. It looks cool. It looks like some of the old books you'd read. It's just awesome. So there's a whole bunch here. I don't want to spoil everything or go through everything, but that's kind of looks like how that works. Okay, then we have 2 of these. This is a confrontation event. So we have Thundering Entrance and Open the Session. Are 2 different ways of kind of starting the battle with him, at least in that sense. Now here you have, this is interesting. So I'm not exactly sure which ones these are, but you have Fortress of Solitude or Indolence. You have 2 of those, Abstain or Indolence. You got 2 of those, more Fortress. A Silence or Indolence. So kind of interesting that you have different things to be able to do that. There's Yield and Resist on all of these. Just, I guess, depends on how you decide to react to different things. And then finally, we have some wound cards. Fractured Ribs, Bruised Shoulder, Injured Hand, Internal Bleeding, Short of Breath, Limping, Fatal Attack, Concussion, and Bloody Eye. Doesn't look like there's any rank to this, at least not currently. It's just, that's the wound you get. Don't get wounded. All right, so let's go ahead and stack this up, and we'll go over to the next thing. All right, so next up, we got some tiles here, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. These are just little tiles you can put up. I believe they're to kind of make it 3D, so in other words, this will be up high, right? I think is the idea of these. Looks like there were some slots for some cards here. So these are different map cards. Notice how tall they are too. They're very interesting. They are numbered. Looks like it would kind of go like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly how they're placed, but as you can see, there's different areas you can maybe go through. Kind of cool. Looks like that would almost be like stupid table. Looks like that would almost go like that maybe. And anyway, there's, as you can see, there's a whole bunch there. There's a whole track, right? Whole wall that they're kind of going through. So anyway, yeah, these are cool. I like them. They're very nice looking, that's for sure. Very nice looking. Looks like that is the same one. Indolent Lair or Valley of the Indolent. All right, so now I got those all out of order. That's your map tiles. I'll put that right back where I got it. Take out these tokens. Okay, so we got some little cubes. You guys have all seen these. I'm not going to bother looking at those. We have some tokens, though, so let's take a look at the tokens. Okay, so you have some wounded tokens, or performed. In other words, are you wounded, or did you do an action by the looks of it there? Then, not very many tokens. We got, it looks like a token for each player. And notice the bramble surrounding that. That should look familiar from the map tile, or the kind of fighting arena thing. We got all these kind of symbols here. It looks like they are different though, right? So these are both yellow, and yet obviously different symbols. So this is all one on one side. This is like a flipped one or the other. You have some 1s and 2s as you kind of count down things. The art, again, I love the art. It looks great. See, this is a red one, but it's the same symbol, I believe, as one of these. Maybe not. Either way, yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, looks great. And that's it for that. Okay, so we have some terrain. I'm going to take a look at some of this. So we can start out with some of the already built stuff. Here's a column. Looks nice. I dig it. I'm glad it's colored on the top as well, and the bottom, so it looks good there. Yeah, cool. I think it probably actually goes that. No, probably, I don't know which way it goes. Anyway, I don't know how do columns work. Is it big on top or bottom? Like this looks wrong to me. Yeah, I think it's this. It's this way because they wouldn't have the little thing there otherwise. So that's kind of how that'll look. We do have some stands here. Looks like, oh, one fell out. Whoa! There. Looks like that either forms the outside, or I'm not exactly sure what that forms, but it's got some stuff there. Even on the bottom, you can see kind of the scale of what you're supposed to be looking at here. This one fell out here. Again, all prototype here. So, know that going in. This is like a kind of a cheap top to it all. That is those. We have some smaller columns here. Mostly same style. This middle part here is different though. So you have a little big and small one. Looks like we have some, I don't know if this is a chest or just a bench, but either way we have that. Again, all prototype. And it looks like that's it for the small furniture there. I'm going to move that over here. We do have some stuff here as well, like some characters. Go on and put her in here. So the standee, at least for now, does have a front and a back. So you can actually see the back of her. I think that's cool. I like that. Adds a little bit to the realism. This guy is front on both sides, so not consistent. Oh, this is fun. So here he is. I think this is like this. I think this is his chair, essentially. So this would go in, I think, like so. And this goes in like so. There we go. Hey, that was easy to assemble. That was nice. And then he would probably be on a bigger base. There he is. There he is in his big ol' seat. Not a lot of leg room. Not a lot of leg room, I must say. I think, by the way, you're supposed to use these as taller terrain. So if you notice, it has these little symbols here, and I think that's for this. And then this goes on top, just like that. Boom! Look at that. So again, this would obviously be a normal piece, but that's exactly what that is. Okay, cool. So there's kind of some of your 3D stuff there. Let's see what else we got. I think the only thing else to really look at is whatever is in here. So let's take a look at some minis. Aha, here they are. Okay, perfect. So let's start with the characters. We'll go from there. Zoom in a little bit more, at least for these smaller ones. There you go. See, nice and big now. Huge. All right. So this is the artist. She's looking great. Now, obviously, again, this is 3D printed, so just keep that in mind. It's not the final one. So right now, at least, this goes all the way up. You can actually see her leg up there, which I really like. Hopefully they can keep that. There was even some supports. They didn't remove all the supports, which is hilarious. There's some supports here. Those wouldn't normally be there. The base is sculpted as well. Lots of layers to her dresses, like 3. So that's cool to see. Little tassels. The hair is curly. I love seeing the curly hair. Action pose with her arms out like that. Still fairly flat, right? And they're able to kind of do the best of both worlds. There's some tiny detail on the dress all in here. And again, I'll be working with them with the minis, make sure they get as good as possible. But that's kind of the look of her that you're going to get. You can kind of see the size there too, right? Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, here's that tank guy. Again, love the hair. Big old cape here, all tattered on the bottom here. Edge to edge on the base right now. And the base looks to be the exact same sculpt base as this one. I don't know if they'll stay that way or not. Armor looks really nice. I like to see that. For now, there is a gap here. Cape looks thick enough to where that'll actually print out really nice. You can actually shrink a little bit in the plastic. That's why you kind of want to inflate things a little bit. This sword, it'll either have to be ABS or thickened up a little bit. Just depends on which one they want to do there. It does have the little kind of, I think, isn't that for like blood or something to run down or something like that? The little middle part there. What's that called? You guys let me know. I'd love to hear that because I need to comment on that in probably a lot of games. All right. So looks like his arrow bow broke. So there should be a rest of the bow here and an arrow, but that broke in the you know, they were able to kind of jostle around in here a little bit, right? So that's all right. I love that he's facing the opposite way. So a lot of them are facing this way. He's facing forward and then looking to the side. So I really dig that. That's cool. Again, kind of the long hair look here. The quiver's right there at the side. Very small quiver. It does have a little rock outcropping to support the foot being up like that. So that's nice too. And then otherwise, like have a little bit of pieces of like armor, stuff like that. None of them are like, besides maybe the artist here, you know, really aren't armored at all. Okay, so this one as well probably broke the sword here, so we won't know exactly where that goes or what's there. She looks like she's almost giving a command or shouting at least. So facing this way, but looking that way. Little half cape. I love half capes. I don't know what it is about it, but the one that just goes halfway, dig it. Does have a book on the side, and then again this like really nice kind of armor. And her hair's like done up and stuff, just a very regal look to it, which I dig. Okay, so we have then this big old enemy. As you can see, the size difference here, quite large, right? Again, sculpted base looks still to be about the same base. I think they've just been enlarging it kind of as needed, at least for now. So very cool. I love the hair. It's like kind of wrapped up and stuff like that. It looks nice. And then the sleeve coming off of the arms like this, here and here. I love how it's swirled. See, this one's coming out this way and going this way. This one's coming out this way and going that way. I love the swoosh. It gives it a nice sense of motion, and then it's followed through with this. Again, very nice. This is a little big. You're not seeing the whole thing, so let me zoom out a little bit. There you go, so you can see. And then a big connection point here with the dress, but the lion's crisp here looks really good. And dry brushing, you know, just does wonders for this. This is a nice touch because if you paint this and you get this colored, that's going to look really nice there, a little difference there. But it's also interesting to see that it looks like her torso is only this big. So it's almost like she's floating, right? Because there's no way her legs are that big, right? So her legs should end like right there maybe. So she's kind of floating off here, which is kind of cool. So I dig that. It's a little bit different. And then we have this one here. Again, also super cool. This is Minos. I need to zoom out even further for this. I'm going to print these off myself and kind of show you it not quite as dark. So you'll be able to see that again in detail. And I do that to like be able to leave some feedback because there's still a few little things that kind of need to change ever so slightly, right? Like, you know, like right here, this bowl kind of goes into the snake a little too much, I feel. So pronouncing that a little bit. There are some supports that are still here too, by the way. So just as an FYI. This snake coming through here though, like out of his like robe and stuff and around, super cool. Really dig that. The snake head down here is awesome. So very cool there. But again, like I'm not sure that quite fits. Like it looks like he's gonna coming out where he isn't supposed to. This column looks nice. This design on the trim of his cloth looks great. The cloth is really thick. Maybe you'd like to see that a little bit less than what it currently is. The like skin that he has looks great as well. That looks nice. The whole pose he has, there's another snake head up here, looking up with his mouth open, kind of shouting, and his hand flared out like that. Very cool. And you can see how muscular he is here. Giant like muscles. It could just show you his strength in this realm. He's definitely in command, especially with these snakes around him like that. Very cool. Very cool. And he takes up almost the whole base. And again, the size difference there, pretty big. A lot bigger. So for the standee, you can see the size is actually like really on point. So a slightly different pose, right? Instead of facing forward and with his arm out, they kind of faced him up a little bit. Otherwise, he still got the snakes. He still got the crown and all that. Still has the fist in the left hand there. Now he's grabbing the snakes, which is super cool. So anyway, that's all we have of Dante, The Invasion of Hell. That's by Creative Game Studios. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments or anything like that, I do have a line to the company, so I'll be able to kind of talk to them. So if you have any feedback or anything like that, any concerns or questions, I'd love to hear them. Maybe I can help address them in some way before the game's even made. Make it as good as possible for you guys. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have, guys. I'll have a review of this here soon, so stay tuned, subscribe for that, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.